Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope that you have already revised that the topics which we have covered in the last class, because in the last class we have already started a discussion of one of the important topic in C++, that is operator overloading, okay, and type conversion in C++. So I hope that you have already revised the topics which we have covered. So just give you a reminder or make me a revision that the topics which we have covered, that what is the use of operator overloading, what is the strength or power of operator overloading lies in the concept of C++, how the C++ will get benefited from this operator overloading concepts. We have discussed it. What are the various kind of operators can be overloaded? We have discussed it. What are the various kind of operators that cannot be overloaded? That we have also mentioned. Okay. Then we have discussed about the basic operator overloading functions, or you can say the operator overloading streaming functions that we are using during the operator overloading concepts. And we have also discussed about the various features or characteristics that we have to follow during the operator overloading concepts. Okay. So let me share the screen. I hope that the screen is visible to everyone. So in the last class, we have discussed about what is operator overloading, what are the various operators that we can overload it, and what are the various operators that we cannot overload it. Okay. And then we discussed about the basic syntax that we should use in our programming, C++ programming, during the operator overloading. Okay. If we want to overload an operator, then what kind of job we can perform on that operator overloading, that we have discussed. And we have also discussed about the process of overloading the operator, that first we have to create a class and the overloaded functions. We can declare that. Then we will define the overloaded functions with some new operations. And then we can call or invoke that function from the main method, that we have learned in the previous class. And then we have learned how we can overload the unary operators. First, we have seen some programs where we have tried to overload the unary operators. So if you remember the first program, I have shown you how we can overload the minus operator. That means the subtraction operator, okay, as a unary operator. Then I have shown the program of how we can overload the increment decrement operator, plus and minus operator, as a unary operator overloading. Then after completion of the unary operator overloading, then we will switch into the concept of the overloading of binary operators. Then I have shown some programs where we have overloaded the binary operator like plus operator, okay, with some new actions or new functions. And probably I have shown you the addition of two objects with the help of the binary operators that we didn't do earlier. So because binary operators we have mainly used to add two variables. Okay, it can be an integer variable, it can be a float variables. But by the help of this operator overloading, we have overloaded the plus operator. Instead of variable addition, we have overloaded operator with object additions. Okay, that we have shown you with the help of some complex number programs. Okay, what I remember. Then some more programs I have shown you to show the use of the binary operators overloading. So that was the last topic that we have ended with as per the discussion of the last lecture. So if you remember, during that lecture, I also discussed with you that this operator overloading can be done in two ways. This operator overloading can be done in two ways. The first way, by using a normal member functions, we can say as our operator member functions, we can do the operator overloading. Okay. A non-static member function we can use to do the operator overloading. That I have already shown through multiple programs in the last class, how we can do that. Today I am going to show you how we can use another special kind of functions for doing the same job of operator overloading, and that function is called friend function. We have already know the basic use of friend function. I have already shown you. If you remember, we have to use the friend keyword of any friend function, and by the help of friend functions, the private variable can be accessed outside of the class. Okay, that I have already shown you. Okay. okay, by using friend function. That is one of the job or one of the responsibility of the friend function. And if you remember, in the syntax of the friend function, we will pass object of a class type as an argument of the friend function. So friend function never takes any values as an argument. It prefers to take objects as a argument type. If you remember the use of the friend function. Today I am going to show you that the another use of the friend function, instead of accessing the private variable, there is another use of the friend function, how to do the operator overloading with the help of the friend function, because we have already shown or we have already seen that how we can use normal member function to do the operator overloading in last class. Today I am going to show you how we can do unary operator overloading as well as binary operator overloading using friend function. Then we will shift into our next topic, that is type conversion we can do in C++. What type of type conversion we can perform in C++? That topic we are going to learn. Okay. So one thing before I'm going to start with the discussion of the friend function, how we can use the friend functions. One thing you should remember, that in case of operator overloading, this point I have also mentioned in the last class. If you remember, operator overloading can be done only on the existing operators. You cannot create any new operator to perform this kind of operator overloading in C++. And operator overloading is one of the unique features in among all the object-oriented programming language in C++. But C++ is the only object-oriented programming language which follows the concept of operator overloading. The other programming language does not have the concept of operator overloading like Java. They have the concept of function overloading, constructor overloading, but operator overloading is very unique feature in C++. Okay. And also you can apply operator overloading on the existing operators only. Okay, not all the operators. 4 operators are not part of the operator overloading that I've already discussed to you. The dot operator, the scope resolution operator, the ternary operators. Okay, those are not part of the operator overloading. You cannot do operator overloading on those 4 kinds of operators. Okay. Another thing that you have to remember, that the we actually doing the operator overloading. Okay, another important point that I need to give you a reminder that we have already told you. I have already told you in the previous class that you cannot change the basic property of an operator during the operator overloading task. What I have said, you cannot change the basic property or the basic functionality of an operator with the help of operator overloading. As for example, if you see that we actually done the operator overloading of minus operator or operator overloading on a plus operator. So when we will do an operator overloading of the plus operator, what is the basic property or basic functionality of a plus operator? Is to perform addition in between 2 operands. That is the basic property. So this is the basic property that we can follow, we must follow during the operator overloading. We cannot use plus operator to do multiplication. Understood? These things you have to make it very clear. The basic property or the basic concept of the operator cannot be changed with the help of operator overloading. You cannot use operator plus for multiplication. You cannot use operator plus for division. Okay. So here I have used operator plus for addition, but that addition will be to different kind of operands. Instead of normal variable, we have done the addition on the objects. Okay. So the basic funda of those operators should remain intact. In the similar way, while we have used the concept of the unary operator, that means minus operator, you have remember, we have just applied the unary operator on a single variable to show the operator overloading minus, and we are just changing the sign of that variable. So that minus operator is also used to change the sign of a particular variable. So the basic funda of this minus operator is not only doing the subtraction, it can be also used for the change of a sign of a variable, of an input variable. So that basic funda should remain intact during the operator overloading. That is very important point These two important points we have to remember. The first point, that you cannot create any new operator for doing the operator overloading. You have to apply the operator overloading on the existing C++ operator itself. Not for all operators. 4 operators cannot be overloaded. Okay, like dot operator, scope resolution operator, ternary operator, and membership operators. Okay, and the second point is that you cannot change the basic property or the basic functionality of any operator in C++ with the help of operator overloading. That you have to understood and remember. Let's talk about how we can overload operators using friend function. So here it is directly in this slide, it is directly shown how we can overload binary operators using friends. But for your sake of simplicity, I want to show you that how we can use friend function to overload the unary operators. Okay, so remember one line. The one line is the one line. If you have the note copy with you right now, you can write that line. It is very important point that you have to remember, and which make the difference between a member function and a friend function during the operator overloading. The statement is a basic difference between a member functions or friend functions in operator overloading. A basic difference between these two functions in operator overloading is that a friend function will have only one argument for unary operators. A friend function will have only one argument for unary operators. Check out this statement. This is for unary operators. Okay, actually plus is not unary, plus is binary. But if you are using unary operators, then you have to use only one statement, only one argument. Okay, so friend function will have only one argument for unary operators. While it is doing unary operator overloading, it will have to use only one argument. And friend function must use two arguments for binary operators. Two arguments for binary operators. While a member function, a normal member function, which we have already seen in the previous class, while a member function has no arguments for unary operators and only one argument for binary operators. While a member function has no arguments for unary operators and only one argument for binary operators. So in case of friend function, one argument is applicable for unary, two argument is applicable for binary. In case of normal member function, no argument is applicable for unary and only one argument is applicable for binary. Okay, why? What is the reason behind of it? Why the friend function use one argument? If you remember, the friend function argument is always an object type. It cannot be a normal type. It is always an object type. So the object which you are used to invoke the member function is passed implicitly. While you are using a normal member function, you don't need to pass the object. It will pass implicitly. So that's why you don't need to mention the object explicitly. But in case of friend function, while you are using friend function, you have to mention that object or pass the object explicitly. If you remember, with the help of the reference of the object, ampersand object, we will pass the object. Okay, during the friend function definition or friend function discussion, I have already told we will pass the object with the help of the address or reference of the object, ampersand the object name. Okay, so that is the major difference between a normal function and using a friend function. So let's check out the program. The same program we have used, or I have shown you in the previous class. We have to do a unary operator overloading. What is the unary operator we have used? Minus. Right. So this is a normal member function which I have already executed in the previous class. Normal member, this one, normal, and this is the definition of a normal member function. I didn't remove it because if it is there, you can differentiate it from the friend function. Now, while we are discussing the friend function or declaring the friend function, look at the statement very carefully. How we can declare a friend function? By using a friend keyword, then the class name, then the operator keyword, then the operator which you want to overload, that is a minus, unary operator we want to overload, and then the class name followed by the reference of an object, ampersand A. That object we are passing while we are calling or invoking this friend function from the main method. Clear? This is the friend function declaration for the operator overloading, and this is the normal function declaration for operator overloading. In examination, it can be explicitly mentioned that by using friend function, you have to show the operator overloading. Then you have to show your program using friend function. You cannot use a normal function. And if it is not declared explicitly in the question paper during the examinations, or if the interviewer will not ask explicitly, then you can use either member function to show the operator overloading, or you can use friend function to show the operator overloading. It's your choice. Here, this is the declaration of the friend function. I did the declaration within the uni class. That means within the class definition, right? Now, I don't want to discuss these things because these two functions you have already seen in the previous class. These two functions. One function is used for the initialization. Another function is used. This is a normal member function is used for the displaying, okay, or printing, right? Now, this is the definition of a friend function. Look at the definition. Similar to that friend function, the friend keyword you may use or you may not use is optional here during the definition that you already know it. You either use friend keyword here in front of it, or you cannot use. Okay, it's your choice. Now the class name uni is our class name, then the operator keyword, then the operator which you want to overload, then the same objects reference of that particular class. And here we are accessing the object by the help of accessing the variables by the help of that object dot variable. That thing you already know it because we have already practiced it, how we can access a variable through an object by using object by dot operator and then the variable. So a dot x equal to a dot x minus a dot x. Sorry, we actually do the negation of the input numbers. So that's why we actually apply minus in front of each and every assignment. Okay. So the old number will be assigned by its sign changing facility in this body of this friend function. Now we will go to the main method. The main method is very similar with the main method that we have used in the previous class. This is the calling operation or invoking operation of the friend function. Okay, how we can call a friend function? Operator keyword, then minus, then within bracket u. We can call the friend function, and then we will again call the display function. Why we will call the display function? Because we want to see whether this minus is properly applicable on this input data or not. That means whether after executing this program, whether it is capable to change the symbol on the signature or the sign of the input numbers or not. So our input will be plus 10, plus 20, and minus 50, and the output of the program will be after operator overloading. It should be minus 10, minus 20, and plus 50. Okay. So let's check the output of this program. So these three are the inputs and these three are the outputs. So it has been successfully changed the signature or the sign of the input variables with the help of operator overloading minus. Is it clear to everyone? Tell me. Anyone has any kind of doubt, any kind of problem in this program? Then I will explain it again. Is it clear to everyone? I want the answer.
Yes, yes.
What about the others? Is it clear to everyone? BCA people, those who are present from BCA, is it clear to you?
Sir, can you repeat the benefits of that operator? So it will be nice for me.
Benefits is the first thing is that you have to remember this operator overloading is a unique feature in C++. No other object-oriented programming language will have this feature. That is the first unique characteristic or benefit you can say in C++. This operator overloading makes C++ more extensible and more powerful. How it will make C++ more extensible? You can use or overload this operator with some new task or new responsibilities. But two conditions is there, two criteria is there that you have to remember. The first criteria, that you cannot do this operator overloading on any new operator. That means you cannot create a new operator from your choice and you are doing operator overloading over it. You have to use all the existing operators to do this operator overloading job in C++. That is the first criteria. Before you will do the operator overloading, you have to remember. And you have to leave those 4 operators which cannot be overloaded or which can never overload it. The first one is the dot operator, membership operator. Second one is the scope resolution operator. Third one is the ternary operators. And fourth one is the size of operators. That you have to leave those 4 operators. Apart from these 4 operators, any other operators can be overloaded. That is the first criteria that you have to maintain. Second criteria is that the basic functionality of the operators or the basic characteristic of the operators should remain intact. You can just do some different kind of operations, but maintaining the basic functions or basic funda of that operator. So here, minus is used for what purpose? Minus is generally used for subtracting one value from another value, right? 2 operands. It can be used for binary operators, and minus can also be used for unary operators. That we have seen here, that minus is overloaded to show the use as a unary operator, as a changing the sign of the input variables. So this is the new overloading responsibility we will give to the minus operators. Clear? But here you cannot use minus operator as a very new responsibility, right? You cannot use minus operator as a multiplication. You cannot use minus operator as a division. You cannot use minus operator as a modulo division. Clear? In the similar way, if we see the overloading of a plus operator, in the last class I have shown you the overloading of a plus operator to add the real part and the imaginary part of 2 complex number, input complex number. But we have shown you the use of the plus operator by adding 2 objects instead of 2 variables, because we prefer to use the plus operator to add 2 operands, and those operands preferably will be a variable. It may be an integer variable, float variable, long, double, any kind of variable. But we never use plus operator for object addition. But you have redefined the use of the plus operator here with the help of operator overloading as a object addition. Clear? This is the functionality or facility of operator overloading in C++. Clear? Everyone clear?
Yes, yes.
Is this program clear or not? First tell me these things. Is this program clear, or it is clear to you or not? So one thing you make it assured, if in the examination they can give the questions, a direct question they can give, like show the use of the operator overloading on a unary operator, or show the use of the operator overloading on a binary operator. Then it is your freedom. You can choose any unary, any binary. In the book you will get some more programs, or in internet you will get some more programs that will be applicable on different operators. Okay, in the internet, if you search some more programs on the binary operators, instead of plus, you will get the binary operators applicable on star, that means multiplication. The binary operators overloading is applicable on slash, that means your division operator. Okay, so in the similar way, the unary operator I have already shown, instead of minus, it can be also applicable for increment, decrement operations, plus plus and minus minus. Okay, so this kind of operations can be applicable. So question can come directly, or if any tricky kind of question will come into the examination, will appear into the examination, then they can give you the use of the operator. They can ask you to show the use of operator through the operator overloading, and what kind of job you will need to perform inside that new overload operator, that they will explicitly mention in the question paper. So don't worry about it. That's at what job we will do on that particular operator. Some of the basic operators overloading job you will have to practice. Okay, because if they will not explicitly mention what job you will have to do, then you will have to do it by yourself. And they will give those kind of questions directly. That do the operator overloading for binary operators, do the operator overloading for unary operators. So this is your freedom. You can choose any operator to show the operator overloading job. Okay, but if they will mention, then they will mention the overloading operations explicitly in the question paper. Like use the minus operator to show the sign change or the the sign change operations of our input variables. Then you have to do it accordingly. Understood?
Sir,
Yes.
uh, scroll it up, sir. I have a question from this.
Okay.
Like defining in public. Hello.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, scroll the page up, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. This one. We are using here friend with constructor, no? Like friend class name operator.
Yes.
So why
No,
we
this
use
is a,
here
this is a, this is an operator function. This is not a constructor.
Okay, okay.
This is a this is a friend function which is operator type. Means we have to use this special kind of operator function along with the friend function to do the operator overloading. Okay, this is not a constructor.
but we are using uni. That is the class name.
Uni. Uni is a class name. Constructor name should be a name of the function. Constructor is a
No,
function.
like we also use wide init, yeah, return type init. I'm asking like,
Yes. No, no,
is
no,
it?
no, no. Friend function always return a class type object. How you can use void and int with the friend function?
But in the previous programs, I write the code like friend void
Look.
operator.
In this function we have used void. This is a normal function for operator overloading. Look. So it is not a constructor. Understood?
Okay, like I'm not clearly understanding this yeah, uni class. Um, like I have a simple question, sir. If we use
Mhm.
this operator, so it is compulsory to use uni the class name
This one.
for friend if we
Yes.
are adding.
Yes. You have to use the class name because friend function is always takes the argument of a class type. So it return type is always the class name.
Oh, okay, okay,
You forget the job of the friend function. You revise it, which we have done in the friend function, you will understand this thing. I
okay,
am not
okay.
doing any new thing. I am just doing this thing is new for you. That means we actually combine the friend function approach with the operator overloading approach. That is the new thing. Nothing else.
Okay, okay, I will guess it. Okay.
Understood?
Mm.
Okay. Okay, let me show the use of the friend function for a binary operator overloading. The same program I have taken here for show you because you are not getting a confusion. That's why I'm not using any other program. I'm using the same program to show you the changes if you're using a friend function for operator overloading, how we will do it. Okay, so if you remember the statement which I have recently explained and suggest you to write, the statement says that a friend function requires two arguments to be explicitly passed to it, while member function requires only one argument in case of binary operator. In case of unary operator, friend function requires only one argument. That I have already shown you. This is a friend function which requires only one argument. But in case of binary operator, the friend function requires minimum two arguments. Okay. So two arguments. These are two arguments that we have used for the friend function. This is the definition of the friend function along with the operator overloading. Which operator we want to overload here? Plus. So plus operator, instead of doing a variable addition, here we are doing a object addition. So two real object addition will be done and two imaginary objects addition will be done. Then after addition, it will show you the combined results. Okay. So this is a friend function definition. It is similar with this one. Okay. It is similar with this one. No changes. Only one argument extra. Okay. Here I have used a variable name. You may use a variable name or you may not. It will not give you any error because this is a function declaration. Right? But you have to use this ampersand because a reference should be matched. with the definition. So this is the definition of a print binary operator overloading function. This one. This function is the old one which we have done, and this definition we have done outside the class. Complex operator plus. So print function always return a object type of that particular class. That's why its return type is always a class name. Okay. So complex operator plus complex ampersand A and complex ampersand B. So here this A and B will be passed as an input while we are calling the constructor function. This is the constructor function. Will pass real and imaginary as input. So this part is a real part. This part is the real part of two defined objects, and this part is the imaginary part, and this part is the imaginary part of the two defined objects. Right. So our output will be, when we will do these things, C1 plus C2, our output will be 10 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4. So 12 plus 9. That will be our complex number output, which will be represented with the help of this C3 object, a new object. So here I have done the same thing. So we will return the complex. Here actually I skipped the in between line. I will directly write the entire thing and return the entire addition to it. So you can break this line into 2 or 3 lines and return the objects. Okay, it's your choice. So A dot real plus B dot real, then comma A dot imaginary plus B dot imaginary. Right? I think it is clear to everyone. So in this case, we will do the addition at the real part first, then we will do the addition for the imaginary part second. Okay, and that will be represented along with the I, because this print function will be called after this. So it will return the value towards C3 object, and C3 object is used to call the print function. So in the real part, it will print the addition of the real part of these two input, and at the imaginary part, it will print the addition of the imaginary part of these two inputs along with I. So our output will be similar to the output that we have received in the previous day. That should be 12 plus I, 9. Okay, why 12? Because 10 plus 2, this is the real part addition, and 5 plus 4, this is the imaginary part addition. So 5 plus 4, 9, and that will be represented along with I variable. Because it is a complex number, so I make it formatting that it will show you or represent it in the form of complex numbers. This is the way of how we can use friend function for binary operator overloading. Is it clear to everyone? Is this program clear to everyone? Anyone has any problem, any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Is it clear to everyone? Fully clear? Hello? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay. Now, in this program, I have shown one simple new thing, that is the use of this keyword in C++. In future, you will learn these things explicitly after 2 or 3 class, while I am going to cover the inheritance and polymorphism from after 2 or 3 class. Then I will discuss about the this use of the this keyword in more detail. Okay, but right now you just remember that this keyword is used to represent the current object. This keyword is used to represent the current object. Try to understand very carefully. Rest of the program is very much similar with the program that we have already covered for operator overloading. Okay, let's forget about the this keyword first. Let's just try to understand what this program is actually doing along with the operator overloading. Just give you a revision over it. So I have defined one class distance, 2 variable feet and inch I have defined. 2 constructor I have defined for this class. One is parameterized and this one is no parameterized or default constructor. Okay. Defining the values. Just forget about this arrow, this thing, just forget about it. You will consider it as a simple variable. So defining the values of feet and inch, initialize the value of feet and inch with a value of 0, and then that value will be replaced during this parameterized constructor call with the passing values during the call, right? Here we have defined a friend function of the distance class object to override, or sorry, to overload the plus operator. Okay, this is very much similar with the previous program of binary operator overloading. Now this is the definition of this friend function. This is also very much similar. In this definition, we have passed two objects d1 and d2 of this distance class as a argument of this friend function, and we will declare one more object of the distance class and do the addition of the feet and inches. So here feet and inches are working like a object addition, Okay, so d1 dot fit, d2 dot fit, two defined objects, and the objects can access the corresponding variable of that class by using dot operator. That all we know that, and that addition will be stored into a new kind of object d3 dot fit and d3 dot inch. Okay, and in the final end we will return d3. This thing is very and with the help of a d1 object, and we will do the same thing for the d2 object by passing two defined values 10 and 2, right? So first it will receive the value 8 and 9, add it, 8 plus 9, what will be the, this is the this is feet and this is inches, so 10 plus 8, 18. Okay, the first feet should be 18 after addition, and 9 plus 2 means 11, so that would be the second one. And then we will do the overloaded, invoke the overloaded functions. Okay, and then we will finally print the feet and inches. Let's run the code. Then I will explain about that this keyword. Okay, so 18 feet and 11 inches. I think all of you agree with me. Up to this, is it clear to everyone? What is actually happening? The same thing which we have done in the previous program. Up to this, is it clear to everyone? Tell me. Is it clear to everyone up to this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What about the others? What about the others? Is it clear to everyone up to this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So how these things will happen? Look, operator overloading, you need a practice. Okay, I understand that you have a little bit of confusion because there is a too much object oriented kind of concept and the reference we are passing. Okay, so if I cannot tell you that please you can skip the use of the friend function, because friend function make it more complex due to this object reference and all these things. But I cannot tell you, because in the examination or in the interview they can explicitly ask how you can use a friend function to do this operator overloading. Then you will have to give your answer by using the friend function only. You cannot use a normal member function. But if they will not ask, then obviously you can go for the normal member function. Okay, so you need a practice of all these programs. Now let's come into this concept. This arrow, what does it mean? This arrow. What I have told, what is the job of the this? This is used to define the current object of a class. So can anyone tell me how we can access a variable of a particular class? What is the basic rule of accessing a variable of that particular class? By using the, yes, tell.
Dot operator.
How we can access the variable or a member of a particular class? Is feet and inch are the member of the class? Yes,
Sir, by
create the
creating
object and
that's dot operator we use.
yes, and followed by a dot operator. Very good. That all of you know that creating the object of that particular class and followed by the dot operator. But here we will do
The arrow operator we use here.
Yes. And we will do here in such a way. If you remember, I have already explained this concept in C program somehow, in some extent way.
Yes,
Do you
maybe you
remember?
talking about. Yes,
Do you
yes,
remember?
maybe.
In pointers
Yes,
chapter, I have discussed this concept. And in data structure, I think you are already using this concept
yes. Link
during the linked
concept.
list creation. So ampersand, then the pointer variable, then within first bracket, that enter thing within first bracket, then dot, then your variable name. If you remember, the same concept is using here, but here we are not using pointer variable concept, but instead of pointer variable, we are using a object concept. So this is mainly used to define the current object. So while you are creating the object of a class, where you are creating the object of a class, here you are creating, suppose you are creating an object of a class, suppose D3. Okay, so this during the compilation of the program, this keyword is automatically replaced by the current object of that class at that particular time. So while you are calling this distance constructor, where you are calling the distance constructor, suppose you are calling the distance constructor here with the help of object D3 and no parameters constructor. So during the execution time, the compiler will replace this keyword. The compiler will replace this keyword with the current object D3 that we never see. We cannot see. But while you are compiling your code, while you're executing your code at runtime, this thing will happen. At runtime, this thing will happen. This is the benefits of using this keyword. So either you can use this keyword here, or you can do d3.fit, d3.int like this. And it means here you can do it. Here you can do it during the call. Understood? Do you understand this thing? What is the use of this keyword? In future, I will explain the use of this keyword in more detailed way by showing more programs. Right now, just understood these things, that this keyword is mainly used to replace the current object of that particular class which you have created at the time of invoking that particular class or constructor, whatever you would say. Okay, and the use of this keyword is totally responsibility of your compiler at the time of execution of your program. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. You can feel it how it will work. Clear? Up to this, is it clear to everyone?
Yes,
sir.
Very good. So
Yes.
today we have almost ended our time, so I cannot get enough time to show you the type conversion because it will take some time to show you the type conversion. Now, some of you can think, sir, what you need to show in type conversion? We already know type conversion. Yes, you already know the type conversion. It is no doubt about it. But some type conversion you don't know, because in C programming, you have done type conversion in two ways. One is implicit, another one is explicit. If you remember, implicit means if you are going to convert the type from a lower type to higher, from a higher type to lower type, then it will be done implicitly. But in a vice versa, suppose from lower type to higher type, if you want to convert, then you have to done explicitly. And how you have done the explicit type conversion? Within first bracket, then you supply the new type data type or the type which you want to convert, that int, char, these things you have to write within the first bracket, then followed by the variable which you want to convert from one type to another type. So the same approach, the similar kind of approach is applicable in C++ for built-in data types. I repeat again, the similar kind of approach which you have learned in C programming for implicit and explicit type conversion, same approach will be applicable in C++ for built-in data types. But for user-defined data types, there is some other approach that you have to know or you have to follow. Can anyone tell me the example of user-defined data types? You already know, you have used multiple times already. User-defined data types in C++. Anyone? User-defined data types in C++. Built-in data types that all of you know. Integer, float, char, those are built-in data types. User-defined? Yes.
Structure class.
Yes, very good. The class is an user-defined data type, this class. So if I will ask you how you can convert an integer data type into a class type or class object type, do you know the process? No, you don't know the process. That I am going to discuss in the next class. All kind of conversion from a user-defined data types to a built-in types, or one user-defined data type to another user-defined data type. That means from class to class or class object to another class object, like this. Clear? Understood what is the necessity of learning this type conversion in C++? Everyone understand this
Yes,
thing?
sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So let me your attendance. Okay. Close the recording.